State of Decay franchise is truly a unique genre of zombie game. It's the kind that makes you feel like you're a minor part of a larger world. Sure, you're consistently working towards a bigger goal, but it's the apocalypse. One small mistake and it's all over. In this video, I'm gonna go over how State of Decay 2 makes you feel insignificant but still gives you hope that you can really accomplish something in these terrible times. First play the tutorial of State of Decay, it gives you false hope, making you think you are among the main characters. After all, you and your partner somehow survive and meet up with a military soldier and doctor. This doctor develops a cure for another zombie virus called the Blood Plague. This seems like an amazing setup, so you choose the character you want to play as and go out there and fight. Then a feral gets the better of you. That character is dead. And this has serious implications. Base morale will tank, you'll have one less character to defend base, and now you have to go out and risk yet another character. Now, to get my real experience of this game, I would recommend going into advanced difficulty and making all options nightmare mode except for map. Make that one green, so then that way you get normal loot while still having a challenging difficulty. The previous description and the following video will be based on these difficulty settings. So, a big part of what State of Decay does to make you feel insignificant is kill you. And a lot. You are fragile, and unless you get better fighting skills, it's probably gonna stay that way for a while. Usually, in most zombie games, there's a lot of leniency. You can make a mistake, but in State of Decay, you have to hope everything goes right. For example, your home's inhabitants are starving and you have to go out to find food. All you have is a baseball bat and a broken revolver. At the nearest food location, there's a horde of zombies and a freak horde of screamers accompanying them. So, you have to use stealth. If even a slight amount of noise is made, you'll probably lose your character, leaving you with a single one to play as left. A small mistake can lead to a disaster of enormous consequences. Another example is if you neglect your car's gas. Something that really happened to me while I was playing this game was when I was heading up to the old Wilkerson's house. I was in a pickup truck and thought I could make it with the gas I had. I didn't. Cars, by default, make a lot of noise, so I had to go hide somewhere, and I began to crouch walk to the many surrounding garages around in the area. At one point, a juggernaut decided to appear, and it was right next to one of the garages. I had to sneak directly behind it, and I made it inside the garage, but I had to take a decision. At the time, I had the Blood Plague, and it was on 10 minutes left. If I took too long, I'd die of sickness. So, I made the decision to speed search the loot container. This had a random chance to make a loud noise and angered the juggernaut, which would have surely killed me. But thankfully, I got lucky and it made no noise. To my surprise, I found a gas can, which was great, and I slowly made it back to my car and left the area. This is a great example of how strategic you have to be. If you falter for even a second, you can and will die. A great example of this is how that same character died days later. I got back from another supply run and saw a couple stray zombies. I thought shooting them with my gun would be fine, so of course I shot at them. It was way too loud, and all of a sudden 3 ferals, a zombie horde, and a plague juggernaut were approaching my base at a rapid pace. The ferals were the first immediate threat. Dealing with them was not that bad, but it did injure me greatly. And it wasn't over yet. The next threat was the horde and the juggernaut. What I had done was dispatch every normal zombie with my gun. After all, making noise didn't matter now, but the juggernaut was next. I had explosives, so I used them. But it wasn't enough, so I had to resort to gunshots. But it kept walking out of sight, so I needed to climb down to get a better shot. Then it charged at me. I was low health and wouldn't survive. And I didn't. My main character was torn apart. If I had never fired those shots in the beginning, everything would have been fine. But that's what happens. If you mess up a little, it's over. It's the apocalypse, after all. Before I continue this video, please make sure to purchase the game from the link in the description below. Doing so will allow you a great deal on that game, and you will also be supporting my channel. This doesn't mean everything is hopeless though. While you are still going to die a lot, you can pave your way to victory, and you can do it how you want. For example, on that run, I chose to play it like a warlord. This means I got to be the area's local dictator. Originally, I did choose it because I wanted to test the NPC fighting mechanics, which were good, but admittedly, it was a real power trip to fight and beat survivors that wouldn't share their loot. And you don't have to go around harassing local communities for their resources. You can also be the local sheriff, helping people in need. Or if you're into economics, you can be a trader and trade goods for everyone to share. Finally, if you would just want to build your community up with some help from other communities, you can be a builder and find the best base with the most slots and prosper to your heart's content. There's something here for everyone, and things don't have to be miserable. Just try to stay clear of juggernauts. In conclusion, this video may have been a little confusing if you've never played State of Decay 2, and that's because it barely covered any of the mechanics from the game. And this is because most of them carry over from State of Decay 1. So, if you want to learn more about that and this game's mechanics, check out my video on the first State of Decay. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have a good video idea for me, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.